attitude. Roxanne.
Hi guys, it's Freddie back with another video. In today's video, I'm going to talk about my experience living in Portugal. I've been wanting to do this video for a long time, and I'm finally getting around to it. And yeah, so I guess I have to start from the beginning, kind of explain, and this is the first time I'm gonna officially explain what happened and what really made me come here. If you've been following me since the very, not the very beginning of my channel, like around 2018, like the beginning, December 2017, right, around there, you know that for the first week of 2018, I went to spend a holiday with my family, my dad's side of the family. We went to Miami for the holiday. It was the first time I was ever in the US, and I loved it, by the way. It was a great trip, but the last day wasn't really great at all, and I know I didn't film that, and that's why nowadays I really want to film even the worst parts of my life and tell you everything, because if you watch like the very last vlog, I wasn't happy, but I didn't show that, and that's just like really fake to me. But anyway, that's another story for another day. I had a huge fight with my family, with my dad, with my sister, with my grandma, and it turned into a whole really messy thing that it turned into a really ugly fight that the next day literally we were gonna travel back to the UK. I ended up going back to the UK, meeting up with my mom, and then we left, and the next day we were on the plane to Portugal. That's basically what happened. So as you can see, it wasn't even planned. I wasn't, mentally and emotionally, ready to come here. It was literally from one day to another. So I didn't even have time to kind of like say goodbye to my friends. I had to like text them all through message, which sucked. So even the way I started my new life, I guess, here kind of really wasn't on a positive thing. And okay, I knew that coming here to Portugal was going to be such a difficult thing. It was going to be a really hard time because my Portuguese isn't great. My writing and reading is terrible. I didn't really know how to write and read properly in Portuguese because I was always used to doing it in English. Keep in mind, I grew up in the UK, but I always spoke Portuguese, but the writing and reading never used to do, so like that's something I never used to practice ever in my life. And to just like from one day to another, like literally from 0 to 100 to 1,000,000, it just changed. My whole life changed, and it was something that I wasn't expecting. I didn't think it was gonna change that much, but it became something so how do I say it? Like so different. The culture, the rules that they have here, everything, the language, just things that are normal to do in the UK, it's not normal to do here. And so it was like, I've been here for 2 years now, and I'm still getting used to a lot of things. It's just too much to kind of like get used to. So it was hard, I guess, and it kind of became very miserable. I'm not gonna lie, I was really miserable for a time. I became a little bit depressed. I don't like using the word depressed or what is it called? Yeah, I don't like using those words. I just don't like using anxiety and depressed. I don't like using those words, although they are really relatable and we all can relate to it, I know. And it's true, like I was, because I was far away from home. I felt like I was in a different planet, Like it wasn't just a different country. I felt like I was somewhere else with millions of people that I didn't know. Now, I always went to Portugal for summer holiday, but summer holiday being in Portugal is completely different than living here. So, yeah, it was just so different, and I'm still getting used to it. But what became worse was when I first started school. That's when everything kind of became worse, because when I first came here, I couldn't get into a school straight away. By the way, I finished high school. When I came, it was like a year later, so I was in college. But in the UK, you finish high school when you're 16, and then you go to college. Whilst here in Portugal, you're in high school till you're 18, and then you go to uni. There's no like college, like thing, unless you like college is basically like a separate, like if you want to do like a professional course as they call it. So technically that, I guess. I don't know, like if you know better things than me about Portugal, please let me know. But yeah, it was really hard. Like it was super hard going into school. I was excited. I was thinking to myself like, okay, I get to be around people my age. I get to like make friends here. I was actually really positive about it, but and obviously nervous at the same time because my Portuguese isn't good and I'm the new student. We all get that. If you've ever been like the new kid in school, you know what I'm on about. And this was the second time it was happening. The first time didn't even wasn't a good experience, but that's a story for another time. Yeah, so I was nervous at the same time, and I have some good memories and also some bad memories. The bad memories that I have was definitely the work, the school, the grades. I'm a person that if I work hard, I put my sweat, tears, and blood to do good in school because I feel like that's very important. But when I was doing all that and then I would get like the results back and it would say like I have a 0, I have a 3, which is like in Portugal, like I'm also something that I had to get used to, I had to know was the grading system because in the UK it's all by letters that now they changed it by numbers, but still it's different. Here it's from like 0 to 20. 20 is like the A plus, if you grew up with the same schooling systems, a grading system, you know what I'm on about. But yeah, it was different, and I would always get the lowest. The very, 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 very first test I did was a history test, and I got straight up a 0.6 on it, which I don't even know what 6 means, but still, that was horrible. I get stressed out before I do a presentation, work. I always get stressed out with those stuff. So to get back, thinking like, okay, I put my sweat, my tear, my blood into this. I hope I get at least like a positive, and then you get a 0. Like that's just really broke my heart. And I mean, I didn't know what to expect because honestly, my Portuguese isn't good, so I was gonna get like a really low grade, but a 0 was just like really bad for me. And then yeah, like slowly I was getting better, but my grades was still really low. Like it wouldn't even pass like 10 upwards are positives. Everything that's like below is just bad. So I wouldn't even get a 9. I would get like, I think the highest grade I got was like a 7, I would say. Like I don't know. But then I did a separate work that would help me, like it was only like 20% of like my grade, my final grade. So just to help me like boost up a little bit of my grade, the teacher decided to give me a separate work that I could do with like help from tutoring because everything works with tutoring here. And I got 16 on that, which was the only like work I ever done that was good, I guess. Yeah. It was hard. Like I definitely cried like more than 10 times every time I would get my work. I would get so stressed out with presentation, which is something that I never used to do in high school. We never used to do presentations actually in high school, and when I came here, everything is based on presentations. So if you're coming to Portugal, I'm doing this video. I don't think I explained that at the beginning, but I'm doing this video because I want you guys to know what my experience was like, because I don't really get to show you that much or talk about it in vlogs, but also because a lot of you guys have actually like contacted me, DM'd me, saying that you're gonna move to Portugal and you want like you want to know my experience, but you also want to ask me questions. So this video is really just me explaining you what it's like living in Portugal from my experience, but then at the end of this video I'm gonna do a little like questionnaire of like the stuff, so don't worry. But yeah, where was I? Like school. Yeah, school was definitely hard, and then I literally had no social life once I went to school, because I had school would end like around 5:30 5, and after school I had to go like home, eat something, and then I would rush to tutoring, because here a lot of like everything, like after school you have to go to tutoring and stuff, like that's something that's normal here that everyone does. And I also needed the help, but I had to go, and I would stay there like an hour and a half, and I would leave there like around no, like around 7ish, sometimes 8ish. The longest I've been at tutor was like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. So like, you know, you're hungry, you want to get home, you want to eat, you want to be with your family. Sometimes you want to hang out with friends and you can't because you have to go there. And yeah, like it was so annoying. I had no social life at the beginning, I have to say. It was hard, but I understood why I had to go. Which didn't really help at all, if I'm being honest. I was like, sorry, not sorry, but it really didn't do anything. Yeah, that. And I have been, like, okay, so, like, I started school again, as you guys saw, like, the new year of, like, school. And I only stayed, like, for a month, I guess, and then I changed. Now, this is the thing I want to talk about. I had a friend when I first came, when I first entered the school. She was also new, and she came from like Angola, so she was also like me, that like had a situation that her Portuguese wasn't good, and she needed to move out of the school. Plus, the school here in Portugal is just terrible. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you, it's terrible. Like, from my experience, the teachers doesn't help you. You have to do you. Like, most of them are just dead ass rude. I don't even know, but this is normal. My mom, actually, before even coming here when I was younger, I remember my aunties, my cousins, my mom, they would say that school's so hard in Portugal, that teachers doesn't help you, you have to do you. And that, also one thing, fun fact, every like year, you know how in England, like you actually like you might have like bad grades, but you pass the year because like you have to move on to the next year, right? In Portugal, if you don't pass the year, you stay a year behind. That's how it works. I think in America it's kind of like that as well. I'm not sure. I didn't study there. I studied in the UK, so like that's what I'm basing off of. But in but yeah, in Portugal, that was something I need to get used to, and that's just a lot stressful, you know, like the fact that you have to get good grades all the time because you're worried if you're not going to pass the year, then you have to stay a year behind and repeat everything again to pass. Like, that's just too much, at least in my opinion. So yeah, I had to repeat the year again, obviously, because I didn't pass. It was all new for me. I ended up repeating the year. I ended up making new friends, and then I lost them, and that's another thing. But you know, we all make friends and then we lose them. That's normal. That's a whole other thing, because I made friends. The whole class was like, my classmates that I had last year, they were all really nice in the beginning, but then I found out like they were just really fake-ish people. They were toxic. It was a toxic place, you know, toxic people. I don't really want to get into that or cause drama with that, but that's what it was. And yeah, yeah, I had a friend when I first started. I have a friend, she's still my friend, don't worry. Yeah, Daniela, her name is. She was also starting the school with me when I first came, and she stayed in school. Oh yeah, we both failed the year when we first came because we were right at the end, so there was like when we first started, because I had to wait. Like, when I first came, I couldn't go, I didn't get accepted straight into a school because it was already too late, and I had to wait 1 year to start the new year in September. So then we both got in like 2 weeks before the school ended, really. It was in June something. So that, and then we started in September together, the same year and everything. And she stayed with us for like, let me guess, like 3 months, 4 months, 5 months around, and then she left to do a professional course because our school therapist had a meeting with her, talked to her, kind of convinced her to move to a professional course because it would be better for her, because the school wasn't gonna like help her, she wasn't gonna move forward, she wasn't gonna do better in school, so she had to move to another school, do a professional course that's gonna help her that's in the same situation. Professional courses here in Portugal, this is how it works. How do I explain? They are basically like they're just easier for you. They're practical and they're easier than school. You don't have that much work, I would guess to say. I mean, you do, but it's not like school. It's not like tons of exams and tons of this and tons of that. Like, it's not like that. It's kind of different the way it works. And you also get paid. It's an apprenticeship, basically, but you also get paid. And you're learning at the same time. So they convinced her to move, and she moved. And at the start, at that year, last year, I guess, they wanted to convince me to move because they were trying to get rid of all the kids that they knew that came from like other countries that, you know, like kids from other country that they know that wasn't gonna pass, or that they know that, you know, they can't help out, that they're too lazy to help out. That's what I see. And they were trying to convince people to move. Now, I know a few people back in the school, this high school that I'm talking about, that moved. Some are in Lisbon studying, some are in professional courses like me, others went back to their country and are doing better now. Honestly, we're all better where we are now than when we were in that high school. That high school just didn't help out at all. They didn't even care. They would literally tell us, this is the thing that I still can't, you know, understand, the fact that teachers literally would go up to you and tell you, like, yeah, you better go because we can't help you. We don't want to help you. It's too much work. Like, literally, they would tell you. And yeah, yeah. And that is normal in Portugal. The mentality that Portuguese people have is very, very normal. And I guess I can say that because I am Portuguese. Uh, so yeah. It was, I didn't move straight away when she moved because I knew my mom wasn't gonna let me. And my mom's like this. When she has something in her head, she will keep that, and she will literally, she won't take that thing off her mind until so many people convince her to, you know. So I stayed the year. I also thought, like, this is my first year, let me see how the year goes, you know. And it was awful, but I still stuck with it. And then the year come by, this September that passes, I started a new year with a new class, with new friends, with new everything. And the same therapist came, talked to me. She was like, okay, like, do you want to change as well? Like, your friend's doing well, don't you want to, like, move like your friend and do well? And I started to consider it, and I talked to my grandma before I talked to my mom, because my grandma's more understanding than my mom. So I spoke to her, and she was like, okay, let's first look and go to interviews and see and find out information. So I did all that. I got all the research that I needed to find to then present to my mom, because this is how my mom works. She will literally want the receipt first before she decides something. So me and my grandma, without telling my mom, we booked one day with this course that I found, that my therapist from the other school found for us to go to. Oh no, first I did a little test to see what kind of, like, professional course works for me. And they had law, I had, like, makeup stuff, and singing and dancing, and I also had programming and technology and marketing. So because technology, programming, and marketing are the only ones that were available to move now in October, when I left the school, I went to that. It was more practical and better for me anyways, because if I went to law, it was going to be a lot of writing, and it's not writing in English, it's writing in Portuguese, and that's the thing that I needed to focus on more, so I didn't go to that, although I really would love to. So yeah, technology, I also love it. It's something that I learned really quickly, so I knew that was gonna work. So I decided, we looked for new courses that were gonna open. We found one straight away, and we set up a meeting with the woman that my grandma, my cousin Raphael, and my step granddad came with me to support me at the interview. And I did the interview, I signed it, and she gave us all the information. I was super excited to go, and that's when I did the video with you guys that you guys saw. And then I spoke to my mom, and my mom was like, okay, if you want to do that, that's your decision. So I went, and honestly, if I'm being honest, now being here at this very moment, I don't want to jinx anything, but I've been here, like, it's gonna be I started on the 13th of December, and now we're at the last week of January, so I've been there for like a while now, like a little bit, and I'm loving it, honestly. Like, I'm getting support from my Portuguese. I'm actually not doing that bad. All my works are like easier, I guess, for me, and I'm actually feeling like I'm doing great, and I'm happy. So yeah, I feel like this professional course has really was the option for me. It was either that or paying tons of money to go to a private school, which we thought of going to before I even came here, private English school. But those are really expensive. We don't have the money. We're not rich. So yeah, so that was my experience. It went from really bad, hating being here, hating, like I was against everything, to slowly, like, I'm not gonna say I love being here. Portugal is the best. Like, there's a lot of things that I'm always gonna like about Portugal, but at the same time, there's always stuff that I'm not gonna like about Portugal. But yeah, like, how do I say this? I'm starting to kind of learning a little bit about my country, learning a little bit about the culture, enjoying a little bit about being here, and I'm finally starting to feel a little bit more comfortable being here that I didn't feel at the beginning because of all the pressure, all this, that, and so many things going on. So now I guess I can say that I feel like I'm actually a little bit happy being here. Starting to feel a little bit like home being here, because I didn't feel like that. I still obviously miss the UK. I miss my friends. Sometimes I'm on Snapchat, or I'm on Facebook, or I'm on Instagram, and I'm checking their stuff, and I'm seeing them, and I miss them. It's normal. I grew up in the UK. I grew up with all those people. I'm not gonna be there at every moment in their life, and that's something that I have such anxiety for. And there's a word for it, I don't know what it is, but I know I have it, and that is like the fact that I'm missing out on stuff. Like, I'm so afraid of missing out on people's life, missing out of being a teenager, just missing out on stuff. And yeah, it makes me sad sometimes, but social media is there. I have social media to connect with them, and nowadays it's easier and really quick to connect with people. So I'm very grateful for that. So obviously I do that, and I talk to my friends all the time. Doesn't have to be every single day, but I do. And yeah, now I have a new chapter in my life. This year, 2020, has started out really great, and I am doing really, like, great. But yeah, I'm gonna do the questionnaire in a bit. Let me just go sort something else, and then yeah. Okay, I am back, and I have my phone with me, and I'm gonna go to the questions. I got all the questions here. I know my phone's broken, so yeah. But okay, so the first question, the first user that asked me a question was, do you like living in Portugal? Like I explained before, at the start I didn't like it at all. I just really started liking it a bit more now. But yeah, it's great. The culture is nice, and it's not all that bad. But yeah, at the beginning it really was. Was it really hard to get used to being there? Yes, it really was. It really, really, really was. Honestly, it just, yeah, I'm still getting used to a lot of things, so yeah, definitely. What was the hardest thing to adapt? I don't know, there's just so many things in my head. Honestly, that's a hard question, because I don't know, there's just so many things. The hardest thing that was to adapt was just my lifestyle, I guess. Not seeing my friends all the time, that was really hard. Especially the fact that I didn't even get to say goodbye to them. So yeah. Do I need to learn Portuguese? I get this one a lot, and yes, I mean, take your time, obviously, but yeah, yeah, you do. You kind of do. I've met some people that do get really pissed off if you don't know Portuguese, but you kind of do need to, so practice on that, but don't get stressed out about it. Just take your time and everything. That's the advice I have for you, especially if you're like me who gets really stressed out and stuff. So yeah. What is the weather like here? It's good most of the time. It's really good, but during like winter, it is really cold. Honestly, like, I'm used to the cold because I grew up in the UK, but because the houses, like, the walls are really cold, like, I don't know how to explain it. it makes the houses like colder. So yeah, if you're very like, if you hate the cold, invest in a really good robe. I have so many robes. I have 4 robes at the moment and I need to get more. I have water bottles that I always put in my bed. Yeah, and really warm PJs. That's the thing you need to invest on. Trust me, it'll make your life better. Talk about your experience in school. I just did, by the way. So, yeah, that's basically my experience. It was really stressful. What do you love the most about being in Portugal? Definitely the hot weather, because, and like during festival times, it's really great because you have a lot to do. Comparing it to England, which I do a lot, I feel like there are some stuff that are better because there's a lot of more things to do, I guess. Yeah, so I guess. Do you like their music and movies? Not really. I don't really like traditional Portuguese music. If we're talking about Portuguese spoken language, I would say Brazilian music, funk. I do like that, especially when I like party. But the rest I don't really like it, to be honest. I don't really like it. Movies, I don't really watch Portuguese movies, especially when you go into the cinema and you have to watch, like, for example, if you're going to watch Frozen 2, it will be like in Portuguese and it's just so weird for me. So like, no, I don't really like, yeah, I don't. So yeah, these are the questions I have to answer. If you want me to do a part 2, answer more questions, obviously keep sending me them. I also answer you guys' DMs, so DM me on Instagram, it's Rani Sulemanj, and everything is linked up below. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and yeah, I love you guys, and thank you so much for all the comments. Thank you for reaching out to me. Honestly, you guys are the best, and I love answering you guys and helping you out, especially if you're moving to here. And yeah, love you, and bye.